Hello and welcome to another episode of the Farr Show, where I'm Damien Farr, and tonight we're talking about the Metal Gear timeline, or the Metal Gear Solid timeline, whatever you want to call it. The Metal Gear timeline is what I'm calling it, because Metal Gear 1 and 2 started it, so I feel like that's an important thing to start. But before we get into those, we're going to rattle off some quick ones that I don't think fit in the timeline at all, and kind of, I would just say, are throwaways. So, the reason why we're doing this is I like to think that I have the writing chops to maybe write a Metal Gear game in the future. Maybe even be in the movie eventually, because the big reason we're talking about it, other than the fact that I've been trying to get into the Metal Gear games and play all of them, and I started at 3 because chronologically that's technically the first one, so we're starting there. But the reason we're talking about them is I'd like to think I can write a Metal Gear game, and I'm excited for the movie with the guy who directed Kong Skull Island. He's directing it, and then Oscar Isaac is gonna be Snake. So that's cool. So let's start talking about the games that aren't gonna be on the list. So we got Snake's Revenge, which follows Metal Gear, the NES game. Not worth talking about. That's set in 1998, but that one's not worth it. Timeline 2, as I'm calling it, which is Metal Gear Solid, aka Metal Gear Ghost Babel. Follows Metal Gear Solid, where you play as Solid Snake. Both so far you played as Solid Snake. Then we got the side story, which is Metal Gear Mobile, which follows Metal Gear Solid or Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, but it's before Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty. No actual date. I could find one. And Timeline 2 takes place in 2002. Then we got the Acid storyline, which takes place in 2016. Metal Gear Acid 1 and 2. And then we got Other here, which really don't have anything to do with the timeline, which is Metal Gear Online and Metal Gear Solid Social Ops. So now that we got those out of the way, we're going to be pretty much sticking with this camera. And bye-bye Bond Cam. Just, it's gone now. So let's start talking about what games in this timeline are here. So we got Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, where you play as Naked Snake, aka Big Boss. This is set in 1964. This is the one that I've started. I haven't gotten too far, a couple hours in, and I'm enjoying it. Though I gotta say, there was a point, if you're a Metal Gear fan, and I am just starting to get into it, so roast me right now. I went to go fight the alligator at the beginning, and I went to stab the alligator, and I tranked him. He was asleep. Went to prone because I couldn't hit him crouched, and I started stabbing him in prone, and he woke up and ate me. Snake is dead. So, really, that one's a quick one to put in there. Then we got Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops and Portable Ops Plus, where you play Naked Snake, aka Big Boss. And this takes place in 1970. So, there's a bit of a gap there. 6 years. I mean, that's cool though. I'm okay with a gap. Then we got Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, where he plays Big Boss again. This time he's just known as Big Boss. And that takes place in 1974, which I, once again, haven't played really any of these. I started 3, and I'm loving it. As dumb as it sounds, I also really like the 3DS remake. Then we got Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes, where you're Big Boss once again. That takes place in 1975. Then you got Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain, which takes place in 1984, where you play as Punished Venom Snake. They're just names to me at this point, so they're the character you play. I, once again, haven't gotten to these yet, so eventually we'll figure it out. Then you get Metal Gear, which takes place in 1995, where you play as Solid Snake. Then you get Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, 1999, where you play as Solid Snake. I mean, come on. It's obvious. Then we get the one that started it all. Well, I wouldn't say started it all. The one that pretty much thrust this game series into popular mindset is Metal Gear Solid, which takes place in 2005. Or you could play the option of Metal Gear Solid the Twin Snakes. You play as Solid Snake, or if you get the Twin Snakes, I'm pretty certain you can play as Raiden, which we're getting to in just a second. Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty, where you play as Raiden. That came out, that's timeline is 2009. And then we get the movie, epic movie as I call it in my mind. In 2014 it takes place, is Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots, where you play Solid Snake once again. A little bit older Solid Snake, but makes sense. And then finally, the last one in the timeline. In 2018, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, where you play as Raiden one last time. This one's made by Platinum Games, not Kojima. All these games in here are made by Kojima in some way, except Rising Revengeance, which I still consider canon because he produced it. I know that he produced the other games on this list as well, or in the other storylines, but I feel like this one he mentally was like, yes, this is part of it. And it sounded like he was writing it from the beginning and then kind of just said, here, somebody else take this. I don't have time. Which is perfectly fine. So, the timeline is right there. Right there. All of them listed. I didn't put the character there, though, because I'm lazy. But I think it's a pretty good timeline. It's a little weird. It's kind of got the issue where the third game is the first game, which is really weird. The fifth game is the fourth game. And it's also the fifth game at the same time, because they broke it up into 2 chunks. But I think it's a really cool series that if you have not played, definitely worth playing. I've been told the best one is 3 overall. So maybe if you get a chance, play 3. Or I've heard 5 is really good as well. So if you get a chance, play 5. Those are probably the ones to go with. So, what did you think of the timeline? Tell me in the comments below. What do you think of me writing it? Obviously, I'm more of a comedic writer from what's known here. But, maybe we'll show some actual writing here in the future. I think I can write pretty well with anything, so we'll see. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon, and have a far off night.